good evening. It is Wednesday. This is January the 10th, 2024. It's 7 p.m. And you are here for Coffee Talk number 124 live stream. Ala Kaneda, welcome in the Bud Files. Ala Kaneda, thank you for a like. Susanna Morrison, proud single mom, thank you for coming in. I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. Susanna Morrison, thank you for coming in. 2 likes, 4 in the house. Hope you're doing okay this evening, Bud Files. Just getting started. 6 in the house, 3 likes. It was hump day. Long day at work. I had a staff meeting. Wednesday staff meeting day. We had a staff meeting. They did ELPS training, English as a Second Language, ESL. Yeah, in your part of the world, it's morning. I think you and Susanna are both over on the other side of the world. And it's already the next day. Right now it is 7 p.m. here Central Time in Texas. Nita's Cooking Show. Nita, thank you for coming in. Oh, you're running a playlist? Yeah, I need to update it, but thank you so much. Well, it would have to, if you're running 114 live streams at an hour each, it'd probably be running for close to a week. About 5 days, just about. Holly Ivans, thank you for coming in, Holly. I tell you guys, yesterday was a funny one. If you want a good laugh, look towards the beginning of yesterday's live stream. There's a little segment there. I did some opening some packages, and I'd had a gift box from, I thought it was from Uncle Al. Uncle Al had told me he was sending me a vest and like a prepper vest, preparedness vest, and he had done a video and he had shown it what he was sending me, and I had not got it. So there was a package that came in, and it wasn't a big package, but it was big enough that if you had like a little vest and you folded it up and everything, it might fit in it. And Gray Man Prepping, hello Gil, thank you for coming in, appreciate you. Worth like. Guys, there's 7 in the house. If you have not left me a like, please leave a like to support the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Gil Patton, Gray Man Prepping, is in the house. I'll tell you what, Gil, I haven't been to visit you recently. I appreciate you coming on and visit me. I will try to put you on my list to come and visit. So I thought Uncle Al had sent me a package, and I read it. It did not have his name on it. It didn't have a name on it. And I thought it had said California. I thought it was a CA. And I opened it up, and I'm doing this. He said he was sending me a couple of different things, so maybe this is and it was a cup, Don't Mess with Texas cup. And it was a couple of packs of beef with sauce that you could like put on rice or whatever as a side. And it had a nice card. And, you know, and Uncle Al's there, and I'm not looking at the stream, and Uncle Al's saying, no, it's not me, I didn't send you that, it's not mine. You know, he's writing down, you know, it's not mine, somebody else's, Dave. And I opened it up. It turns out it's from Guru Dave and Echo from Georgia. So that CA was actually a GA, and just I didn't read it that way, and maybe maybe it was partially me because I'm blind, and maybe it was partially the handwriting. But at any rate, there was a nice card, and the card said, uh, Merry Christmas, best wishes, your friend, David Echo, and so wrong person. So I got a good laugh out of that one. I was snickering about that for a while. Um, how are you doing, bus stop? Yeah, I just I had a long day at work. I didn't get out till about 5 o'clock. I came home and then I went over to HEB and I got a couple of salads for me and the kid, and I got a little beef with mashed potatoes for the wife and some desserts. And the weather, it was a borderline freezing this morning. I had a little frost on the windshield of my car, and it should be above freezing the rest of the week. And then next Monday and Tuesday, and I'll be off Monday, but I got two doctor's appointments. Next Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be cold. It'll be below freezing overnight. Yes, I understand you hear dogs. My dogs are in the other room. Somebody came to visit. I think my daughter's boyfriend is over. And the dogs, if they're not really familiar with you, they bark when somebody shows up. So, yep, my two dogs. Um, so, anyway, um, it's been a week. I got 2 more days and then I'll be off for the weekend. I enjoy, in education, I enjoy my weekends. I really do. Normally, I'm out, a little after 4 o'clock, 4:15. I'm out the door on the way home. It takes me about 15 minutes to get home. I leave for work about 7 in the morning. I get there about 7:15. And you're moving again this month. Well, make sure you let me know the new address. Um, have you done an unboxing on your? As far as did you do a video of the unboxing of the gift box bus stop? That'd be a nice video. I'd enjoy watching it. So, um, I am working on gift boxes. I got another box here. I won't show you the address, but I put the address on it, the return address on it. I got all the items I need to put into it, and I am going to, and it may be this weekend before I get the thing done, but I am going to be working on Holly Ivan's gift box. Holly, you're in the batter's box, and you're next. Melinda Elliott, how are you doing, Melinda? 6 thumbs up. Thank you. So I'm going to be putting Holly's gift box together, and I will probably do another video, and maybe I'll do another, where I do a taco run, and I'll show myself eating a taco, talking about it, and then I'll put it together. Um, so hopefully I'll get that out, and Holly, you'll get yours this next week. Um, Idaho Garden Girl should be getting hers supposedly Saturday. I sent her, I texted her the tracking number, and she should get her box Saturday. May come in a day early, maybe Monday before she gets it, but she should be getting it, in the near future. Rooted in Essential Oils. Thank you for coming in. Rooted in Essential Oils. So, Little Lone Prepper, hey, how you doing, young lady? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully the family's doing well. God bless you. So I have been trying to get out gift boxes, and I got a couple of them out. Actually, I got 3 of them out. One's yet to be delivered, and then my 1,500 subscriber giveaway, which was bus stop. And I've got a few more people that I need to get boxes out to. Next one I'll be working on is Holly Ivins. Then I'll be working on Melinda Elliott. I've got to work on Pastor Justin Green. Then I got to work on Dr. Uncle Al. And then I'm going to send one to KP Heathen, my friend Gary in Louisiana. So, I mean, I've got a plan. I got the stuff to do it. I just got to do it. I tell you what, I come in the evenings, nine in the house, nine likes. I come in the evening, and a lot of times I am just tired. There are times when I'm tired where I don't even feel like doing my live stream, and sometimes I don't. Things are going on. My wife had another. Um, Good evening, ungrateful peasant Wayne. Thank you for coming in. My wife had a procedure where they did they took a they did a biopsy on my wife's breast, and she told me about how they did it and what happened. My daughter took care of her, on that one, and she's had health issues. You know, the insurance I have for my wife's a little over $800 a month. She's a high risk. I have retirement insurance with the state, and it's like $200 a month. So there is most insurance policies have a out of pocket. Well, all of them have an out of pocket. So for the plan I have my wife on, it's got a $5,000 maximum out of pocket, and I just kicked that one into gear because the procedure she was having. There is a moth flying around in here. The procedure that she had was $11,000. So I just had to kick out $5,000, and I basically met the yearly out of pocket. I met last year's yearly out of pocket. I met, I've been every year I get, on my wife's out of pocket. And thank you, appreciate that. So I was stressed out because she had that procedure yesterday, and you know, I sometimes I have a hard time sleeping. I worry about things. I think about things. I worry about the country. I worry about what's going on. Uh, they did what's called ELPS training today, ESL training for the staff. We're a secondary school, so secondary schools are required to have English and English as a second language program for non-English speakers. Um, Elementary schools usually have a bilingual program where they actually offer, if they can find a teacher that speaks the language, and there's so many different languages, but most of them that are coming in are likely Spanish speakers. So they do bilingual education at elementary, and then they'll do ESL at secondary. So they're required to do an annual ESL training and then different stuff and all. Um, I saw where there are just millions and millions and millions of foreign-born people in the United States. There's millions and millions and millions of people coming into the United States. I don't want YouTube on my back by stating the numbers that are out there, but it's a daunting situation. It really is a daunting situation, and we have to provide um, services to all these kids. My understanding is that because the weather's bad up north, up in New York City, in order to bring several thousand illegal aliens indoors, they closed a working public school, high school, and they said all the kids were going to have to be at home all the kids were going to have to be at home for online, that they couldn't come to school because they needed to bring in all these illegals because it was going to get cold, and they didn't want them outside in tents and the way that they were living, you know, when it got cold. Well, what about all the kids that are going to school and need their education? You know, these are American citizens, and their parents are taxpayers. What's up with that? So you know they're in a bad situation up there, and lots of crazy stuff going on. So, you know, with everything going on, with the weather the way it is, with the power grid fragile the way it is and stressed out, um, you could have power outages. You could have roving brownouts, blackouts, whatever you want to call them, where they turn the power off for a certain period of time, and then they rotate the power around to try to different sections of the grid prioritize for power, and then other sections of the grid off for a period of time. What are you going to do to stay warm? The electricity's not working. What are you going to do? What if you don't have natural gas? Electricity's off. What are you going to do? We have an all-electric house. Now, I have a wood-burning fireplace. I've got a nice fireplace in my den, and we've used it, and we use it when it gets cold. We got plenty of firewood. Um, what are you going to do? You know, if the power goes out and you don't have a fireplace, how are you going to stay warm? There were a lot of people that died. That Texas, 70, 80, 100 people. I don't remember the exact number when they had that real bad freeze like a couple of years ago, and the power was out, and all the green energy wasn't working because the solar panels, with all the ice and snow and everything up North Texas, the solar panels weren't putting out. The turbines were frozen. They weren't putting out power. They had been shutting down a lot of the coal, and they didn't have the capacity, and it was just overwhelmed, and a bunch of people died. And they're trying to take care of that now, but that happened. So what are you doing to be ready? Having a propane heater is a good thing to have. I have a couple of buddy heaters. Right now they're going for about $75. You can use a 1 pound green bottle on it. You can use a adapter with a hose. They'll go to a 20-pound tank, which if you're going to be having to burn for an extended period of time propane, you either need to have a lot of those little green bottles, or you need to have an adapter so that you can use 20-pound tanks, and you need a couple of those 20-pound tanks. If you have, I saw it first. Thank you for coming in, Bert. How's it going, Bert's Beats? He's coming in on one of his backup channels. I'll tell you what, Bert has got a beautiful voice. He does cover songs. He is a fellow educator, and he's a younger man. I got 13, 14 years on him. I've been retired and came back. He has not retired yet. He's a teacher, fellow teacher. I think he coaches too. And he's got a channel. He puts out some really good content. Melinda Elliott puts out some really good content. All these different channels in here, they put out good content. But he's putting out shorts on a busload of shorts. I really enjoyed all of his countdown to Christmas with the dog. He did those. He did shorts of those. I enjoyed those. I enjoy when he does cover songs. And then he does a lot of live streams, brings in guests. When I do a live stream, I'm basically just using the YouTube to their app to live stream There are apps you can purchase, that you can pay for, that will allow you to do all sorts of crazy stuff, with your live stream, and have 4 or 5 different people, little sub boxes with people's faces and everything, guests and everything. Really, and he's not the only one that does it, but I mean, he does a really good job on it. So, Bert, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you, bud. I've been running a playlist, and I have been running playtime for folks. I did Alacaneda. I did Anita's cooking show. I did Bert's Beats. I do. I do. I try to do my friends who support me. Behind them watching videos. When I get off 8, a little after 8, I'll try to do a little bit, and I'm tired. I'm older. I'm tired. I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm just telling you the way things are. But I do enjoy the camaraderie. Yeah, kerosene is good. Yeah, always have at least two backups: kerosene and propane. One of the things that I have, and I have not done it, but I'm told you can do it, and it's safe to do it. You have these little folding stoves that, and you use like camp heat, or you use sterno. You can use a couple of these and have them burning at the same time in a room. You can use these uh, safe heats. These will burn for 6 hours. You can turn them on and off. They're liquid. They've got a wick, but you want to heat some water, boil some water to, reconstitute or make some coffee or whatever. It takes about 15 minutes to boil water with it. But if you got two of these burning inside of a room, they'll heat a small room. You've got a bedroom, you're in a bedroom. These will heat a bedroom. These will provide heat for a bedroom to keep it up where it's bearable. Now, you won't be nice and toasty, but you won't be freezing. Um, a couple of candles and blankets do wonders in a small bedroom. That's true. Candles. That's true. Let me show you. See if I can pull one out. Um, I saw this on Cold War Preppers channel. This is a 115-hour candle life, 115 hours. And I bought a 6-pack for about $45. And these will burn for 115 hours. So if you need an emergency candle, and it'll generate some heat in the process, you can get something like that. And you can use something like this. You could probably burn a couple of them at the same time, and you could heat, or you could provide light. Grid down, or you don't have heat or whatever. You could burn a couple of these. It'll burn 115 hours. I originally learned about this on Cold War Prepper Lee's channel, and he's got a good channel. He got a little butthurt with me, and he's not supporting me right now, over the fact that I mentioned that the church had been selling indulgences back during the Renaissance, over the idea of purgatory, which is not in the scriptures, and it was a means to make money. The church did that back 700, 800, 900 years ago. And the original idea of purgatory was bounced around a couple hundred years before the birth of Christ. It'd been bounced around, but it wasn't something that was practiced. It wasn't something that was generally acknowledged. It was just it wasn't really biblically based, concept. The idea is that a person dies, they're not good enough to go to heaven. They're not bad enough to go to hell. So you go to purgatory. Well, the scriptures say the dead sleep. It doesn't say the dead go to heaven. It doesn't say the dead go to hell. It says the dead sleep. Then there will be a judgment. Um, so at any rate, um, uh, another example of something. It's a fact. I don't want to offend anybody by saying it, but like there was a period of time when the Crown of England created a title called baronet. There are six different hereditary, five. Let's see, Duke, Marquis, Earl, Viscount, and Baron. Five. So there are six. There are five levels below the king. There are five levels of nobility in the British system, and there's also what's called a knight. So somebody who is a gentleman who is in service to the king, uh, the old concept of the knight. Well, the title of knight or sir, they're called sir knight. It's not hereditary. So if you are knighted, like the queen or the king knights somebody for a distinguished service nowadays, and they get to they're called Sir so and so, or you know Dame so and so, and when they die, that title does not go to their child or their eldest son or whatever. However, the crown a few hundred years ago, wanting to raise money so that they weren't having to be beholden to the parliament, decided, well, we will create a title that's in between baron and knight, and it will be called baronet, and the person who has the title will be called sir, but it will be hereditary that they can leave it to their eldest son under primogeniture. So they created the title of baronet. There are people who hold that title today. They can leave that title to their eldest son, and their son that inherits the title will be called sir. And they basically say, so and so baronet, Sir so and so baronet. And it was a way that they made money. Well, likewise, the church sold indulgences, dispensations, you want to call it. You could pay to have a church hire a bishop or archbishop or somebody in a position of authority in the church. You could buy an indulgence or dispensation from the church, and it would basically entitle that person or the person they were buying it for, like a dead relative or whatever, and it would proclaim that they would not spend as much time in purgatory, or they would not go to purgatory, they would not spend as much time in purgatory when they passed away, or if they had passed away, it would get them into heaven. And it was basically a way for the church to raise money. Idaho Garden Girl, welcome. Stephanie, I've said this before. I said this before, and I didn't get a response from you. I sent you a message that I had mailed your box Tuesday. Yesterday, I mailed your box, and I sent you the tracking number. And if you didn't get it, email me your phone number again, and I will text it to you. because I thought I texted it, but I might have emailed it. It might have been an email, but I sent it to you, and you should get your box on Saturday. Now you might get it on Friday, you might get it this following Monday, but I did get your box mailed out, and it did say I did ask, and it did say that you should get your box Saturday. And I am sorry, been delayed in getting them out. It really rained hard Monday, and I didn't have a raincoat, and I didn't want to get the box wet, and so I did not stop when I left school. I rushed out to my car, and I went home, and it just rained like you would not believe. And it was not supposed to rain until late. Oops, there's that moth flying around in here. I was trying to get it earlier. Um, I did not. I did not get it out, but it's out now. Um, and bus stop. I did get your text. I will look at your video, and I'll leave you comments on. I'll leave you comments on some of your videos when I get through here. Bus Stop puts out some good shorts. He's like Uncle Al. He'll put out some good food shorts. He puts out some shorter videos that are not shorts and good content. Truly good content. Uh, so I'm on the road. I'm sitting at around 1520, and I'm on the road to 1600. Now it may take me 2 weeks. It may take me 2 months. I was averaging over 100 new subscribers a month, but it's slowed way down because I haven't been putting out the content. I haven't been working my channel. I haven't been, supporting my channel. So it's really slowed down. But, I finally got to 1500, and it was taking forever to get to 1500. It took 2.5 months. Finally got to 1500, and I had 9 channels that qualified for the giveaway. I'll read them to you in a minute. In the prior one, when I did the 1400, I had 42 channels that qualified. And how did you qualify? You leave me a like and a supportive comment on the last 5 videos that I release prior to hitting whatever that number is. So I had 9 channels leave me a comment on the last 5, each of the last 5 videos I had released. Now there were some channels that had left me comments on 4 of them. There were some channels left me comments on 3 of them. But to follow the rules, it's the last 5. And as long as I've been doing those giveaways, it's always been the same rules. Leave me a like, leave me a supportive comment on the last 5 videos I drop. Now, when I was working my channel more, sometimes 3 weeks, and I'm at another 100. And I might have only dropped 2 or 3 videos in between that new number and the prior number. A lot of times it'd just be, I drop 1 a week. If it takes 3 weeks, well, I'm recounting a couple of the prior videos from the last one. So 42 the previous time, you had a 1 in 42 chance to do that. Now, Bus Stop had been in it for the whole 9 yards. All the way, he'd been with me. He's been with me. I've been with him. And he finally won. But he was 1 of 9. And those are a lot better odds. So I encourage you, if you want an opportunity to get one of my really primo goodie boxes, and I always put, you look at the videos, I'll show what's going into the box, and I customize it, and it's different for different people. Bus Stop did not want either of the stoves that I've been putting in the latest boxes, the goodie boxes I've been giving out to people. He didn't want either stoves. He didn't want anything fire, so I did put in a Zippo lighter, and I did put in a pack of the stormproof matches, but I did not put in either of the stoves or the tabs or the sterno or any. I didn't put that in. Uh, hey, take care, Wayne. Appreciate you coming in. So, Bust Up, I think the channels that have come in this evening that have identified themselves, I think you're probably subscribed to all of them. 11 in the house, 12 in the house, and 13 likes. If you haven't left a like, please leave a like to support the channel. So let me go ahead and read those 9 channels out to you. For the 1500 subscriber giveaway, the qualified channels were Bus Stop, who won, Die Bullfrog Uncle Al, he was a prior winner, Doors G Vlog, she has never won time, God's Old Man, uh, Pastor Justin Green, he just recently went over 1,000. Guru of Baseball Cards, Guru Dave, he had been a previous winner. Idaho Garden Girl, who was a previous winner. Melinda Elliott, Sue Me, and Walter Davis. Those are the 9. And all good channels, all good people, all good supporters. And I have been making packages and goodie boxes. Devil Dog Prepper, thank you for coming in, Devil Dog. And I have been making boxes to support people who are really loyal to me, that really support me, and it's a way to help them. I've also been those who are monetized or who are trying to get monetized. I have been giving a lot of playtime on. I've been giving a lot of playtime trying to get their watch hours, trying to help them. And if you're wanting to do something for me, go and do a replay on my, you come into my live stream for 10 minutes. If you can, after it's over, put it on a playlist and go back and replay it. Maybe you might want to watch it. I'm sure you would get sick of me having to watch me for a full hour or an hour and a half or whatever. I rarely do an hour and a half. I usually do an hour once in a while. I'll do an hour and 15 minutes. I try to do just over an hour. But go back and if you can play my playlist. I've got a live stream playlist. It's got over 100 videos on it. I'm doing a live stream coffee talk number 124 right now. This is 124, and that'd be a way to help me. You want to help somebody else, do the same thing for them. If you've got multiple devices, overnight when you go to sleep, play play their videos, put it on a playlist. Play a playlist. Go to a playlist that they put together and play it for them, and that will give them watch time. In order to get monetized, a person needs, well, they have created a lower level of partial monetization. 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours in the last year. Full monetization is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And I'm sitting at about 3,200 watch hours right now, and I'm over the 1,000 subscribers. Now there are people who they got more than 4,000 watch hours, but they don't have the 1,000 subscribers. And You know, if you've got multiple channels and it's somebody that you like, subscribe them on those multiple channels. I've got 40 or 50 channels that are go-to channels that I support 110%, and they are subscribed on my second support channel. And I use my second support channel to do a lot of play time, watch time for channels who support me. And if you do that for me, thank you and God bless you, and I will pay you back. I've got 5 or 6 people that live stream that are monetized or trying to get monetized, and they play my stuff and I play their stuff. Whenever I do a replay, I will tell them this is a full replay, and I'm doing it to sorry, that froze. What happened here? And I will tell them that that is to that is to help them. You know, we grow together, we support each other, and that's something you need to do. One thing that Bus Stop told me is that sometimes it'll freeze up or it'll roll, and I'm sorry, my internet. I had Sunlink. It's now called Optimum, and I mean, I've got, paying a good amount for my service, and for whatever reason, sometimes it it will have little issues. Sometimes I have to turn my phone off and reboot it, like refresh my phone. Something happens and the internet goes out on my phone, the service. So, or I don't have service on my phone, and if I turn it off, let's set about 10 seconds, turn it back on, then the service comes back. And I don't know what it is because I've got a cell tower about a half a mile from me, less than half a mile from me. I've got a cell tower, so I don't understand. It'll get down to about 40 tonight here in Victoria. It came a very light freeze last night. It was a very light freeze. So I have been trying to get my preps together. I have a inventory of what I have. I have organized a lot of it in totes. I have clear plastic totes. I have them numbered and I have them cataloged what's in them, and I try to group stuff together. And I have a good, very, very good pantry. It's stocked very well. I try to rotate stuff. When something new comes in, I try to use a Sharpie and put the date on it. If it's, I've been here lately, I've been trying to flesh out my freeze dried stuff that's got a 25, 30-year shelf life on it. So I've been buying number 10 cans. I've been showing them. I've been putting them on a community wall, and I've been talking about prices. I have found the Agason Farms is very good. Ready Wise is real good. Mountain House is very good, and I've been buying a lot of it. And it stores a long time. You store it properly. You don't want to store it in the heat. You don't want to store it in direct sunlight. You store it properly, keep it in the 70s, and it'll last you a long, long time. And I sometimes joke about, eventually if something does happen, I mean, I've got it. If not, I've got 30 years to eat it. Hopefully I'll still be alive 30 years from now, but have 30 years to eat it. That's something you need to think about. Yeah, Mountain House is good stuff. I buy a lot of the meal kits from Mountain House. You can get meal kit packets, like a 48-hour meal kit that has six meals in it. It'll have two breakfasts. It'll have and four um, lunch or dinner items. Normally, it's like a each one is like two servings, two and a half servings, and you basically just have to have boiling water to reconstitute it, stir it up, seal it, let it sit, open it back up, stir it up. You know, 15 minutes later, you're good to go and you can eat. That and crackers is good. Good good meal. You want to have crackers, and you eat that with some crackers, and it's a good meal. Likewise, you can have coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. Like today, I have a Keurig in my classroom. Today I had about 6 cups of coffee today. Those 8-ounce cups, and um, I use Folgers. I use Nescafe, um, and I'll put one of those packets in it, and I'll put a couple of French vanilla creamers in it. And today during the course of the day, I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't have my oatmeal for breakfast. Um, I had like 3, 4 cups of coffee that morning, and then I ate the school food for lunch. I sometimes will do a short where I'll show 4 or 5 of the meals that I've had. They're decent meals. I don't care for the price. They charge $5.50 for an adult meal. It's the same size as the kids' meal. They don't give you any extra, and they don't serve you iced tea with it or anything. All the schools I've worked at before were usually for the adults. You could have iced tea when you get a meal, and they don't do that. Um, they don't do like like it used to be. You could order a salad. Nope, it's whatever the school food is, and they usually have 2 selections of what the food is. So today I had chicken spaghetti, and it came with a couple of vegetables, uh, little mixed fruit dessert, and a milk, low fat milk. Um, Hasidic Jews are living in tunnels under New York. Why would anybody want to live under New York? God darn it. Uh, yeah, I heard about that. I heard today they were talking about that New York, because of all the undocumented and all the migrants and everything living out in tents and such, it's getting ready to get really cold. So they don't want them to freeze to death. So they were going to close down one of the high schools, and they were going to put thousands of them in a high school, and they wanted the kids to stay home and basically do online distance learning. And I tell you, that doesn't really work that well. It might have worked. It would work for about 20% of the population. Those kids that were the upper quartile, the ones that are, that they take the education seriously. Their parents take the education seriously. They want to get their education. They're probably going to want to go to college when they graduate, or they've got plans. Those are the ones that will do distance learning, and they'll take it seriously. Those are the ones that are homeschooled that will take it seriously, you know, and will follow up. And when they'll be taking dual credit classes when they're in high school, where they're taking classes at the community college for credit, where they're getting credit for college, and they're getting credit for uh, their high school diploma. And those kids will take it seriously, and they're gonna be successful no matter what happens. The rest of them, they're losing ground. Like when they had the pandemic and they had the kids not going to school for a couple of years, it really hurt educational levels. It really hurt the amount of growth that the kids were getting, and they haven't recovered from it. Yeah, I know. I heard about it on the way home. I was listening to the news on the way home, and they were talking about it. Yeah, I know they closed that high school down. They had it closed down today, and they'll probably, and then you think, well, they're putting all these kids in there and people who they're not the most, they don't respect, everything. They're going to tear some stuff up. They're going to have stuff come up missing. They're going to make a mess. It'll take a while to get the place straightened back up where they can put them back in school. Well, what about the kids who are, their parents are citizens, their parents are taxpayers? Why should they have to sacrifice? Think about that. Think about that. 11 in the house, 15 likes. Um, there are Mike Crusher reviews. Thanks for coming in, Mike. There are lots of scary things happening. Yes, there are. There are lots of scary things happening. Unfortunately. And some people didn't take high school seriously. Uh, I graduated from high school in 1980. So I had my diploma before a lot of you were born. Now, yeah, some of you in here are my age or a little bit older than me or a little bit younger than me. And you didn't, some of the people did not live through what we lived through. Like the technology that they have today. The internet's been around since about 1995. I have two graduate degrees. I got my second graduate degree in 1995 when I earned my second graduate degree. Got two graduate degrees. Got two bachelor's degrees. Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And I got an associate from Del Mar College, which is the community college. So I went to community college to save money. First 2 years, I got an associate's, and then I transferred over and went to the university. And believe me, back then classes, $100, $100 wasn't that expensive back then. Nowadays, all right, the last time my daughter was at Victoria College, I think I was paying $265 for a class. That's community college. Then she went to University of Houston, Victoria. Those classes were over $1,000. And then she's at graduate school, and those classes are over $2,000 per class. And that's not an expensive school. That's not an Ivy League school. It's not an expensive school. Um, but one of the things I benefited from my daughter, that benefited her, is she got a lot of her, most of her freshman classes out of the way taking dual credit. So her junior year in high school, she took dual credit English, freshman English. She took a semester of the grammar. She took a semester of the literature, and she got her freshman year of college English out of the way. Her senior year, she took a second year of dual credit in English, and she took a semester of um, the grammar, and, and then she took another semester of literature. So when she graduated from high school, she had 2 years of college English out of the way. Likewise, when she took her U.S. history, she took dual credit, and she got credit for 2 semesters of U.S. history, and she got her junior U.S. history out of the way. She did the government and economics, which is required, her senior year, and she got that out of the way. And she took science. She did not do the college algebra because she didn't have high enough scores in the math, and she did the college algebra when she went to college. So that's something she had to take when she went to Victoria College. But I tell you what, we didn't have dual credit when I was a kid. You couldn't do dual credit. Joshua Humphrey, welcome. Death 68 January, page 59. I don't know what the world you're talking about, son. Welcome, Joshua Humphrey, in the house. 16 likes. Leave me a like if you haven't done so to support the channel. Oh, Holly, I wouldn't let you walk to. If I'd have known you, I wouldn't have let you walk to school, in the snow. I'd have gave you a ride. Um, Lived at the end of a dirt road that was a mile long, and we really did have to walk it to meet the bus. I understand. I'm sorry. I understand that. Um, they normally would not allow a school bus, like in Texas, a school bus will not go down a dirt road. If they've got to go down a dirt road, they'll get the county to pave it, or they'll use caliche. They'll at least use caliche or something other. They won't leave it dirt. They'll either extend it and dump caliche on it, or they'll put rock on it, or they'll do something other. Those county roads or whatever. Um, Back in the good old days. Yep, back in the good old days. I think little old Prepper and Holly and I are about the same age. I think Stephanie, um, Idaho Garden Girl, I think we're all about the same age. Give or take a year or two. And so we know how things were. When you start talking about, well, we didn't have the internet when I was a kid. Well, we didn't have the internet. We had Saturday cartoons. You know, we had 3, 6, and 10. We had ABC, NBC, and CBS. Eventually, we had PBS. And then they started, when they started getting cable, then you had like Turner Broadcasting, and CNN News. Back then, CNN News was pretty down the middle. It was not biased one way or another. I mean, they put the conservatives on, they put the Democrats on. The Republicans and the Democrats. They'd be on a show together and they'd argue it out. And they'd have guests on. They'd argue it out. And you get both perspectives. And the Democrats weren't nuts. They were I guess what you call like a blue dog. Most of them were like blue dog Democrats. They had a lot of the same values that the Republicans have. You know, Slightly different beliefs, but you didn't get these woke left wing nuts out there. Um, yeah, back in the day, people would. Yeah, that was before PBS, Public Broadcasting System. Um, Back in the days, people would collect cans. People would collect bottles. They'd turn them in, and you'd have sacks of bottles and such, sacks of cans, and people would turn them in, and you get like deposits for them. Recycling, you get money for it. I can remember that back in the day, we'd save our aluminum cans, and we'd take several sacks of them. We'd get a few dollars for them. Yeah, I didn't. Uh, I was young before cable came out, and cable came out, and I got cable. I can remember back in the 70s, um, later 70s, VHS came out. They had Betamax, which was Japanese, and then it fell out of favor, and it was VHS, and you had tapes, and you'd have a top loading video recorder that you could record off the TV, but you could also play pre-recorded tapes. And they would rent tapes. If you wanted to, you could go rent tapes of, you know, movies that had come out. People would buy them. People would buy them. And they'd wear out, you could wear the thing out and play the thing, 10, 15 times, and the tape would start deteriorating and the image would start, you know. And then in the mid 80s, they came out with the compact disc. Before that, they were using vinyl. You'd have 78s or you'd have 45s, the little 45s, and it'd have like one song on either side. The side A would be the good song, and side B would be something extra they put on there. And I can remember I'd buy a 45, and they were about $1 a piece. And I can remember having them give them to me, you know. Finally got a TV in 1974. Yep. Target's going to stop selling DVDs and Blu-rays this year. Well, and then after the VHS, then you have the DVDs come out, and a lot of those rental places shut down. You know, they shut down. They stop renting. Things become popular, and then new technology takes over, and then they go out of style and they stop them. You know. Yep, flip side. I tell you what, Holly. My mom, she was born in the early 20s. If she were alive, she'd be 100, a little over 100 years old. My father would be about 110. My father was like 10 years older than my mother. And they were together for 21 years before I was born. Both of them had been smokers, but a couple of years before I was born, they stopped smoking. And my mother used to tell me about when she was a little girl. She'd go to the Saturday matinee, and it was a nickel, 5 cents. She wanted a soda, 5 cents. She wanted popcorn, 5 cents. Broke her heart when it went up to 6 cents, 5 cents. Can you imagine going to see a movie, having a soda and a popcorn for 15 cents? That was when she was a girl. Back during the Depression, 1930s. I mean, back in the days, you know, my father, he was 19 when his father passed away in 1932. And he remembers going with his father, he was a teenager, 2-3 years before his father passed away. He died of a heart attack at the age of 49 in 1932. They used to call high blood pressure Bright's disease. Bright's disease. They didn't have blood pressure medication back then. Didn't have a way to, couldn't cure it or anything, or they couldn't treat it. And he said he remembered going when his father bought his first Ford back in the 20s, later 20s. He bought his first car, and it was one of those cars, like a car with a back end you could haul stuff in it, so it's almost like a truck. That was their first auto. And they had used, he grew up, horses and wagons, a carriage, where, family goes and they had a nice little sporting carriage, and then they had wagons, pulled by horses, back in the days. During the course of the 20s and 30s, horses went out of style. Everybody started getting cars. They were affordable, mass-produced, assembly line. And he said when his father went to go buy that car, he paid cash. He had coins, gold coins. He paid for that vehicle in gold coins. He doesn't remember. He didn't remember what his father paid for it, but he went with him. He pulled out gold coins and paid for that car. You know, and it was probably $500-600. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to do some research to figure out, at that time what the value was or what they charged or whatever. But that was a story I remember from being a boy, and he told me that. Yeah, yeah. Well, my father was born in 1913. My mother was born in 23. 1913. My great grandfather died. My mother's grandfather died in 1925. My mother's father died in 1959, which was 3 years before I was born. My mother was 82 when she died. She's been gone for right at 20 years. You know, my great grandfather lived through the Civil War. He was a boy during the Civil War. That was my mother's side of the family. He was a Texas Ranger. He was sheriff of San Patricio County for a number of years. He donated the land, and they named Odom, Texas, after him. He was a founding father of Sinton, Texas, which was the county seat. Um, he's in the history books. You can look David Charles Odom, D.C. Odom, and there's stuff on him in the history books. You can Google him online. You know, very, very colorful life. I heard stories that are probably not in the books, but I mean I heard stories about him. Um, that was a good time. It was during the Depression. They grew up in the 40s and the 50s. They were young, you know, and they'd be in their mid 80s, late 80s now. They could still be around. Are your parents still around, Little Lone Pepper? Mom and Dad still alive? Either of them? When when I was a teenager, uh, there was a movie theater in Corpus. Every um, Friday or Saturday night at midnight, they'd have a midnight showing of Rocky Horror Picture Shows. Every week, they'd have one airing of Rocky Horror Picture Show, and it got to the point it was like a cult thing, and people would go in costumes. They would dress up, and they would go in costumes, and they would go in there, and there was like a little stage there, and they'd go up there, and they'd have a little ceremony where they'd all come out and they'd show their costumes and everything. They'd introduce themselves, and it's like a club, you know. And I can remember I used to, on a few occasions, I never went in costume or anything, but I went on a few occasions like dates, you know, back in the day when I was in high school. It was in the 70s. And they would do the Rocky Horror Picture Show and they'd do the time warp and everything. And they'd get up and they'd do the time warp, and they'd do it. And yeah, I used to belong to a science fiction, like Star Trek fan club. I never wore the uniforms or anything, but there were people and they'd get together and they'd have the uniforms. Or they'd go to the premiere and they'd be wearing a uniform. They'd wear a Star Trek uniform, whatever. And I was in my 20s at the time. I can remember going to the um, when I went to a first showing of Star Wars. I went to a showing of Star Trek the motion picture. I remember standing for several hours in line, to be in the first showing. They're wrapped around the building. Um, Back in the days when I was young. Back in the days when I was young, you know. And I don't know. I don't even know what movie tickets are. I have not been to a movie since COVID. I haven't been to a movie since COVID. I used to go to the popular stuff that I liked, I would go see. Hadn't been to a movie theater in the last 4 years, maybe. Um, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I would see everything that came out. In Corpus, we had three, four. We had four first-run movie theaters and Cinemark, and a lot of times they'd be showing. There'd be 10 or 12 different movies showing, and I would wind up seeing everything that would be out. If something would come out, I'd go see it at one time. That was even when I was in college, that was my entertainment. You know, Friday night, Saturday night, go out, go to a movie. Go out with your friends, go out with a date, hang out, uh, go bowling, go to a pool hall, play pool, arcades. We had pinball machines at the mall. You didn't have video games, you had pinball machines. And nowadays, I think tickets are probably $10, maybe more. I don't know. Um, Sodas are like $7 or $8. Popcorn's $7 or $8. Shit, you go to a movie, you're going to spend $30. They're right at just for you. Yeah, arcades, going out to eat, going to the beach, driving around. We used to go cruising. We'd go cruising. We'd drive around town. Drive down Ocean Drive, drive down the main drags of the town, drive around. I can remember that back in the days when I was a boy. That was a big thing. Go out, go drive around, go rent movies, watch movies, make popcorn, have sodas, eat Snickers bars. We'd go to a movie, we'd have a soda, popcorn, and a Snickers bar, and they were good sized Snickers bars. They weren't those small little Snickers bars. They were good sized Snickers bars. I liked the Snickers, and I liked the Babe Ruth, uh, the Payday bars. Those are good. I mean, all those with the peanuts, good stuff. Uh, yeah. Um, Food Forest Permaculture. Thank you for coming in. Hey, I haven't been watching the stream. Good to see you. Food Forest snuck in on me. How's it going, fellow Earthling? If you are not subscribed to Food Forest, you need to subscribe to Food Forest Permaculture. He puts out some good stuff. He live streams. I encourage you to give him support. Oh, good Lord. Bus stop, the next time I send you something other, I'm going to send you a case of Roadkill Helper. It will help your roadkill possums or whatever you're eating make a great meal. Nasty stuff. Possums. Good Lord. Well, I tell you, I have been in here a coon's age. I'm at 76 minutes. Time flies. It really does fly. So, remember, the Boy Scout, Girl Scout, the model of the Scouts, be prepared. Make a list. Shop it. Have an inventory. Have bottled water. Have food that will last. Have a supply of your medication. FEMA says better have a week's supply of everything. I think you should have at least a month's supply of everything. Make sure you have a way to heat. Have manual stuff. The power goes out and you need a manual can opener. Wouldn't hurt to have two of them. A bottle opener. Wouldn't hurt to have two of them. They're not expensive. You take medication, make sure you have a supply of it. Don't run out of toilet paper. Don't do that. Back during when the things were bad, you had people, they were fighting over toilet paper. They were running out and people were, making runs on toilet paper. People don't have toilet paper. There's shortages. I saw people throw fits over not being able to buy toilet paper. They wait until they run out to go buy some. Not the brightest thing in the world to do. Life is good, but it is what it is. Every day when you wake up, say a prayer. Thank God for the day. Thank God for, for your family, for your spouse, for your kids, for your parents. Thank God that we're still here. You don't know when that last day is. There's a lot of younger folks than me that are passing away. I don't know. Tell those that you care about you love them. Live by example. Set an example. Honor your parents. Do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. The golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And be a light. Teach. The term rabbi, when they referred to Jesus, he was a teacher. That's a term that the Hebrew people, the Jewish people, use. Rabbi means teacher. Teaching is a ministry. It's a ministry. Thank those that support you. Thank responders. Thank veterans. You see a lot of these older folks, veterans, they're wearing these Vietnam War caps or veterans caps. Thank them for their service. Make them feel good. What does it cost you? Make them feel good. Say hello to them. Thank law enforcement. I see law enforcement. Thank them for their service. A lot of people hate cops. Thugs. They hate cops. You got places where they want to defund the police. These blue cities where everything's going to SHIT. The reason why everything's going to SHIT is they don't respect law enforcement and they don't enforce it. And the prosecutors, they don't prosecute criminals. The judges let them out without bail, and they go back and they assault people. They commit crimes. They kill people, and they get out. They're not held accountable. I will plan on being back tomorrow. It'll be Thursday, another 7 p.m. Central Time live stream. Help me out. Leave me a like. Leave me a supportive comment. Come back after the video is over and leave me a like. Leave me a supportive comment. You want to be in the next subscriber giveaway drawing? Leave me supportive comments on these videos. Doesn't take that much time. Doesn't cost you anything. Whenever you go into somebody's stream or when you watch somebody's video, leave them a like and a comment. Let them know you watched it. Don't just lurk. Everybody, please have a blessed day, and I will be back tomorrow. Thank you so much.